Let me tell you something that sounds like a compliment, but isn't. You were always so mature for your age. People said it like it was a good thing, like you were gifted, responsible, wise beyond your years. But here's what they didn't see. You weren't mature. You were surviving. Because when you're a child raising yourself, maturity isn't a choice. It's armor. And that armor, it doesn't come off just because you grow up. Maybe you were that child, the one making your own breakfast at 6 a.m., the one who stopped asking for help because nobody was listening anyway, the one everyone called independent, when really, you were just alone. And if you were, this video will explain everything.
See, there's a difference between growing up and being forced to grow up. Real maturity develops gradually, with support, with mistakes forgiven, with safety nets you can fall into. But when you raise yourself, you skip steps. You learn things children shouldn't have to learn. How to make your own meals because nobody asked if you ate. How to solve your own problems because nobody was available. How to comfort yourself because nobody checked if you were okay. Psychologists call this parentification. It's when a child takes on adult responsibilities, not just chores, but emotional labor, caretaking, self-management. And it rewires how you see yourself in the world. You weren't mature. You were adapting to neglect. And calling it maturity, that's how we make invisible trauma acceptable.
Here's what it looks like when a child raises themselves. Sign 1, hyper-independence. They learn early that asking for help is either pointless or burdensome, so they stop asking. They become the kid who figures everything out alone. Need help with homework? They teach themselves. Hungry? They make something. Scared at night? They handle it. And everyone praises this. Wow, you're so self-sufficient. But nobody asks why a 7-year-old has to be. Sign 2, emotional self-sufficiency. They stop sharing their feelings, not because they don't have them, but because nobody asked. Or worse, when they did share, it was dismissed. You're fine. Other people have it worse. Stop being dramatic. So they learn to process everything internally. Sadness, fear, excitement, pride. It all stays inside. Sign 3, premature responsibility. While other kids are playing after dinner, they're doing dishes, making their lunch for tomorrow, checking their own homework, putting themselves to bed. They become the child who doesn't need parenting, which sounds convenient until you realize every child needs parenting. Sign 4, baseline invisibility. They fade into the background, not because they're shy, but because that's what worked. Being loud got them dismissed. Having needs made them burdensome. So they learned, the less space you take up, the safer you are.
And then they grow up, and everyone says, wow, you're so independent. Like it's a superpower. But here's what they don't see. The adult who can't ask for help even in emergencies. The person who ghosts the moment a relationship gets too close. The professional who burns out because rest feels like weakness. Because when you raised yourself as a child, you learned one fundamental truth. Survival is solo. Other people will let you down. You can only rely on yourself. And unlearning that takes decades. Here's the cruel irony. The child who raised themselves grows into an adult who can't let anyone else do it. Someone offers help? I'm fine, I've got it. Someone wants to take care of them? It feels suffocating. Someone gets too close? Suddenly there's an emergency exit plan. It's not that they don't want connection. It's that connection feels dangerous. And here's what people don't understand about strength forged in childhood survival. It becomes a wall. Self-sufficiency becomes loneliness. Independence becomes inability to receive love. Strength becomes the thing that keeps everyone at arm's length.
Research shows that children who experience forced early independence develop what's called a dismissive-avoidant attachment style. It sounds technical, but here's what it means. They learn to deactivate their attachment system. They stop seeking comfort from others because seeking it always led to disappointment. So they become adults who are incredible at functioning alone, but terrible at being vulnerable. Studies on parentified children show consistent patterns: higher rates of anxiety, depression, and relationship difficulties in adulthood. But also, and this is important, higher levels of empathy, resilience, and caretaking ability. Because these children became experts at reading rooms, managing emotions, anticipating needs. They had to. Survival required it. But here's the paradox that defines these adults. The same skills that saved them as children are the ones hurting them now. The hypervigilance that kept them safe, now it's anxiety. The emotional self-sufficiency that protected them, now it's loneliness. The independence that made them survive, now it's inability to connect. What was once adaptive is now maladaptive. But there's another side to this story that needs to be told. The child who raised themselves developed gifts most people never acquire: depth of empathy, emotional intelligence, the ability to read unspoken needs, resilience that's unshakable. They became observers, thinkers, people who understand pain because they've lived it quietly. And while none of this justifies what they went through, it's important to name they didn't just survive. They developed capacities most people never touch. The question isn't whether these gifts exist. The question is, can they finally use them for themselves? Can the person who learned to care for everyone finally learn to care for themselves? So if you were told you were mature for your age and it never felt like a compliment, if you learned to parent yourself because nobody else did, if you're an adult now who can't ask for help without feeling weak, who sabotages closeness, who feels guilty for needing anything, I need you to hear this. You didn't grow up too fast because you were special. You grew up too fast because you had to. And that's not maturity. That's survival. But here's what's also true. The patterns that protected you then don't have to define you now. The child who had to raise themselves can finally let that burden down. The child who raised themselves is still inside you. And maybe it's time to give them what nobody else did. Permission to need something. Permission to ask for help. Permission to rest. Permission to be taken care of. You don't have to do it alone anymore, even if you always did. Because being mature for your age was never the gift they said it was. It was a burden you carried alone. And you're allowed to put it down now. You weren't mature. You were surviving. And maybe it's finally time to stop surviving and start living. The armor can come off. The child who raised themselves deserves to finally be held.